today we're doing way too early predictions, you know what I'm saying, going into this upcoming season after all the moves that have happened and moves that have yet to happen on rosters. We're going to try to gauge and see what we think about teams, players, title contenders, etc., etc. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. What do you want to start with first on the list?
I think we should get the big one out of the way. Let's go over most valuable player candidates for us. Of course, these are predictions that are like not heavy favorites because obviously you could just say Luka, you could just say Giannis, and that's okay to say. But like we're thinking more of like a dark horse type of most
Right,
valuable
right,
player.
right. It's supposed to be a little more of a fun video, way too early. I mean, you can answer with some realistic stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Like you said, dark horses, people you wouldn't expect. So MVP, huh?
For me, MVP candidate, I have James Harden, and the reason for this is because he has a lot of things on his shoulders this season to prove because he took that pay cut. They brought in PJ Tucker, they brought in Daniel House, they brought in D'Anthony Melton, they brought in people he's familiar with, and I'm expecting him to take a big jump because of he's saying that he really wants to win a championship, and the way to win that championship is he progressively plays better than he played last year. We're thinking maybe it's a in shape type of issue with James Harden because he played terrible last year. That's what I'm thinking at least. Maybe he's going to take this season seriously, play as good as possible, get himself into shape, and care more than he ever has. And that I'm projecting him to be a MVP this season.
So W Take, yeah, definitely, like you said, all the people they brought in for him, and all the work he's been putting in the off season. You know, last couple of years with the hamstring and just being out of shape in general has really hindered him. So to see him take a huge jump would be a W. I fuck with that. I really want to say Luka, even though it's like a safe answer, but I mean, there's no guarantee.
I like it. I
But
like it. I definitely like it because of the new additions, Christian Wood, JaVale McGee. There's not going to be a secondary ball handler if I'm not mistaken. Correct.
right, like their
So
next guy up is Dinwiddie, but Luka's gonna like he's. I feel like he's just gonna go crazy. I mean, Dallas, like they showed what they can do last year, and taking away Brunson is a bit of a hit. But I mean, with the addition, like you said, of Christian Wood, I feel like they could go pretty far, and I feel like Luka's gonna just take a huge jump this year, like even like bigger than we know he can take. Just I feel like he's gonna go crazy with the Mavericks.
let's get into Rookie of the Year talks. Who do you got?
Rookie of the year. Call me boring. I'm going Boncaro. It's just like seeing him in college, seeing him in summer league, and yeah, you take all those things with a grain of salt until you've played in the league consistently enough to where you can really judge him. But he's a dog, bro. As like generic as that sounds, he is a dog, bro. And there are some great guys in the draft that I'm super excited to see, like Ivy, like Keegan Murray, that are just also dogs, and Chet. Shout out Jabari too. Like it's really like the draft is there's so much great talent, but like if we're going Roy, man, I think I'm gonna go Boncaro.
I like that idea. Of course, any of the top five picks is obviously a great pick. I'm gonna go with Jaden Ivey, and the reason why I think he'll win it is because there's a story there. Obviously, a team like the Orlando Magic, I don't feel like they're going to be as good as the Detroit Pistons. I don't think the Rockets are going to be as good as the Detroit Pistons. I don't think the Thunder are going to be as good as the Detroit Pistons. I feel like Ivy being plugged into this team, them being as good as they're going to be potentially. I'm thinking maybe top 6 seed. Them making that jump, I feel like it's going to be because of Ivy and because of Kate Cunningham. And yeah, that's why I have Ivy winning Rookie of the Year over these guys who probably, obviously, Rookie of the Year is not about how much your team's winning. That's not the award, but that we saw that last year with
It definitely helps.
Scotty Barnes
Definitely
won
helps.
because his team made the playoffs.
Right.
That's kind of what it is. So
Yeah.
I got Jaden Ivey winning that.
Yeah, that's valid. Yeah, like you said with Scotty, like your team winning puts you in the limelight. A lot more of the league sees you. All the voting, it's more in your favor. With guys like who else was in the running last year for Rookie of the Year? You had Green and Cade, obviously, but and there's definitely coverage for them. I say more so Green than Cunningham, but even then, Scotty, close triple double, doing everything on the floor, like and winning at that. So if a team like Detroit, like you said, is a top 6 seed, I can't imagine like the amount of coverage, highlights, just limelight that's going to be on Detroit, and specifically Ivy if he's in that Rookie of the Year running. So yeah, Ivy, I can definitely see that too.
Let's go right into most improved candidate. Of course, we were talking about big jumps, but I think most improved is like a huge jump.
Mhm.
So who do you have for most improved candidate?
I think I'm gonna go Anthony Simons. Um,
Hmm.
he's already he took a jump last year when Dame went down with the injury, obviously, and he started like pretty much the like majority of the games after Dame was hurt, and he took a huge jump then. But I think he's gonna go even crazier now, playing alongside Dame, two guard next to Dame most likely. I feel like he'll prosper, you know. Definitely feel like Simons is gonna take a huge jump, and I feel like the Trailblazers. I don't necessarily know how people feel about them and where they'll land. Obviously, I feel like they could be a play-in team, maybe like a 9 or 8 or 9 seed, truthfully in the West. You know, a lot of guys are coming back from injury, so it's like the West is pretty much stacked again. But I feel like Portland is going to make some noise, and Simons is going to have a really, really good year.
I've got Markelle Fultz.
Markelle
All right.
Fultz.
Coming into the season, I don't think Markel's going to start. But I think he's on a kind of he's getting to that point where he needs to prove himself.
Definitely.
Like he really does. Orlando has a crazy amount of guards. He's got to stick out. One of them has to stick out. I think Markelle Fultz is going to make a huge jump next year. I really do. And aside from Markelle Fultz, a little love for my favorite team. I got Kevin Porter Jr., man.
KPJ, hell yeah.
Kevin Porter Jr., man. I feel like last year he showed me a lot. Like, I used to think this dude is not a part of our future. I think he 100% is. He works well with Jalen Green. He's becoming a really good playmaker. Those people that said he's not a point guard, he's a fucking point guard.
Yeah.
Now he has 2 defensive threats where he doesn't have to rely so much on that end, because despite the amount of people that don't know this, Kevin Porter Jr. is a defensive guy. He is a very good defender. I watched him lock down Curry. I watched him lock down Chris Paul. I watched him do these things. Trust me. This year he's making a jump. He's gonna win most improved player.
I like the confidence in KPJ. You know what I'm saying? And even Markelle. I feel like not a lot of people would say Markelle, but yeah, you're definitely right about that. Very guard heavy. You know, Suggs, Anthony, Hampton. They sometimes push him over to the 2 or the 3, but still like mainly a guard. Like I feel like Markelle is gonna take a huge jump. Definitely interesting to see what happens with Markelle, KPJ, Simon. There's a lot of guys in the league that are gonna take a big jump, but I like those answers. I like those answers a lot.
Let's go over to Defensive Player of the Year, because we were talking
Player
about
of the
Rudy
Year.
Gobert. Is your Defensive Player of the Year? Do you think he wins another one?
I don't think so. I mean, I just for like yeah, he's great at what he does. You know, shot blocking, changing shots. You know, affecting shots is great and all. But when I think DPOY, bro, I think someone who is able to switch 1 through 3, 1 through 4, 1 through 5, almost at times, and be able to really just break down and dictate the whole team, not just the one position of the one thing you do. Obviously, shot blocking is huge in Rudy's case, but you look at a guy like Smart who's doing everything out there. I'm not saying he's blocking centers and shit like that, but he's definitely affecting things, you know, plus minus defensive. All the defensive advanced stats are crazy, but I look at guys like, you know, a Bam Adebayo. I look at guys like, you know, he hasn't shown too much yet in his career, but he could be really good. I feel like on the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson could make a potential run at DPOY. I know it's kind of hypocritical of me to say that, seeing as he just blocks shots and then Rudy. So you never know, bro. I just feel like more so with a guy like Bam, I think he'll get DPOY this year. He can really do that. Switch 1 through 5. He's stealing. He's blocking. He's doing it all out there.
How do you feel about Jared Allen?
Jared Allen, definitely. I don't know how I don't mention him there. I guess it's still in that same wheelhouse of just a center shot blocking, but Jared Allen does a lot more than just shot blocking. He's, you know, I feel like he's a guy who can switch 1 through 5 as well. Maybe not 1 through 5, maybe like 2 through 5, 3 through 5, but he's still like giving that team so much. Without him, like they don't do as good as
even his teammate Mobley. What about Mobley?
Yeah, Mobley can make a run too. I feel like Jared will be able to get it more likely due to the fact that
are really good.
Yeah, and because like Mobley, his offensive game is gonna mix in with his defense. I feel like Allen's gonna have his offensive moments, but mostly he's there for the shot blocking. I feel like so he'll probably have a better run at it.
I disagree with that. I think Jared Allen makes that offense go around because of how much of a lob threat he is.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I just meant in terms of like DPOY. I don't know if he'll.
No, yeah. I think out of those two defenders, Mobley's definitely more versatile. So If it comes down to if they're the last two, I think we give it to Mobley because of how versatile he is. But I personally think Jared Allen is more impactful.
Yeah, I feel like Bam or Jared could take that. There's probably some other people worth mentioning as well. I mean,
Jaren Jackson.
Jaren Jackson, league leader in blocks. Miles Turner, wherever he ends up, if he stays on the Pacers, can make a run. Kawhi's coming back. I don't know if he'll, he coming off injury.
How do you feel about DeJounte Murray when he
DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray definitely has a possibility at that as well. His ability to defend, his length, his effectiveness on the court defensively is huge. I feel like
not having to care too much, so much on offensive because he's playing with Trae Young, maybe.
Right, got the lob threat and John, who can stretch the floor now a little bit, like you said, with Trae alleviating a lot of that offensiveness. He can really just hone in on his skill, lock in defensively, and be a threat out there. So yeah, he can make a run for it too, for sure.
What you got for six man?
Six man. We were talking about this a couple days ago, and I was struggling to really sit up here and figure out who it was that I wanted to pick. There might be some slight bias, and I'm probably wrong, but I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's a fun video. It's way too early predictions. I'm going Bones Highland, sixth man of the year. Off the bench, you got Jamal Murray coming back, sliding into that point guard role. Monte is out of there. They got Will Barton out of there. They got KCP, great 3-and-D defender, but in terms of backup point guard minutes, bro, when Jamal Murray's out on that floor, best believe Bones Highland is going crazy.
We got one more award, right? Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year, yeah. For me, call it bias, but I'm going Willie Green, man. The run they had going end of last year, going into that first round. Very surprising, bro. As a Suns fan, you cannot tell me confidently that you were 100% sure that your team was going to beat the Pelicans, bro.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but the Suns got lucky as fuck.
So
at that closeout game, bro, Chris Paul elbowed Jose Alvarado in the damn mouth, and they called a foul on him. Y'all would have probably been in the game 7, and we saw what y'all looked like in the game 7. So y'all probably could have got bounced in the first round.
Yeah, that was looking pretty scary for Phoenix. But yeah, Willie Green, he's such a you hear so many interviews around the league of players on the team and just around the organization that have been coached by him previously or been a teammate of his. Like, he's such impressionable person. He's a player's coach, you know what I'm saying? He's going to get on to you and give you all of his coaching stuff he's going to give you, but he knows how to connect with players on a personal level and make them feel welcome, make them feel at home. Not to say other coaches don't, but Willie Green is a really special guy, and he's going to be big for New Orleans. So I'm going to go Willie Green for Coach of the Year.
I'm going to go a guy that I think got snubbed last year. Taylor Jenkins, bro. Come on. I think last year he should have won it because of how many games they were able to win without Ja Morant. Obviously, surprising team last year. This year, I expect them to not lose a step.
Right.
Be even better because of development. They're a young team. I think Taylor Jenkins is going to come away Coach of the Year this year, man. Great coach, understands basketball, and really puts. He's a coach that doesn't get like for example, Popovich, right? Popovich. It's his system or nothing. Taylor Jenkins understands who Ja Morant is. He understands that Ja Morant could make a play without him calling a play. He understands that, and that's what I love about Taylor Jenkins. He's when it comes down to the times where he needs to make a play, he's gonna do it. And just let him play, he'll do that shit too. I think Taylor Jenkins is gonna win this Coach of the Year next year. I think the Grizzlies are gonna be the first seed in the Western Conference.
Okay. Well, I like that. Yeah, Taylor Jenkins is awesome, man. I love him as a coach, and like you said, he's very free in how he coaches his guys, and he's like even within his system, like everyone that steps on that court is impactful in some way, shape, or form. And obviously that's a testament to the player putting in that work and being great on the court, but it's the coach's job to make sure they fit in with certain lineups and are productive. We saw that with guys like D'Anthony Melton, Conchar, just literally, like I said, everyone that steps on that floor is productive. They make winning plays. They impact the game.